Hey friends, welcome. So today I want to talk about a very simple positioning and content strategy that has helped me scale my business to multiple six figures by simply using LinkedIn and an email list. Everybody gets confused about what to write, how to write it, what to do on each day. So I thought I'd share a really short video sort of showing you a little bit of the behind the scenes of how I plan my week and what I'm doing. And hopefully you'll find it useful for yourself. So what I'll do here is I've got my little ugly writing, but we've got content strategy. So when it comes to writing, before we even write anything, we have to ask ourselves who we are. So in my world, I'm a solopreneur. I run a coaching business. I've got clients. I'm a consultant. I do all of that stuff. But at the core, who I am is a solopreneur. Right now, inside of who I am, when I'm looking at my content, I want to talk about the way that I run my business. I don't just want to write stories and random things, right? I relate them back to the context of being a solopreneur, and I'll dive into a little bit more of that detail in a second. Then we ask ourselves, what is the service that we provide? So in my case, it's coaching and consulting. That's basically could be like 80% of your content is what you do. And then the one thing you want to be known for, right? Like when we say LeBron James, we think of a basketball. When we say Cristiano Ronaldo, we think of a football. What is that one thing you want to be known for? In my case, it's offers, right? Like offer creation. I'm known on LinkedIn and have built an audience around this one word. So at the core of it all, when we think of our strategy, all we're doing is simplifying it. So it depends on how many times you want to post a week and how you want to distill this. But in essence, you want to educate someone. You want to tell some stories or opinions. And you want to show some proof. And this is all there is to it. I know it sounds really, really simple, but this is essentially the content strategy, because when you tell stories and you give opinions, this is top of the funnel content. When you educate, this is middle of the funnel content. And when you show proof, this is bottom of the funnel content. I know it sounds ridiculously simple, but that's what it is, because if we take a step back and give you an example of solopreneurship, for example, that is who I am. So when I talk about who I am, I always bring solopreneurship into my content in context of my business. So I'm not just going to say I had ice cream and it's a beautiful Friday. I'm going to say I had ice cream on a Friday at 11 a.m. because my business allows me to work on my own terms. Or I took Friday off to go to the beach. Without that context, it's just a random share or random story. But if I give you context and say, my business allows me to take time off so I can recharge every Friday, and that's why I'm at the beach, you now understand that this is solopreneurship. So I've got basically about 10% of my content strategy talks about this. I usually use like Fridays or Sundays or something really fun like that, one post a week to share that in context of who I am, right? Another thing that I do with the word solopreneur is I talk about my model and how simple it is, Google Docs and all these things that I use to convert customers to clients. But again, it's me being a solopreneur. Now, approximately, I would say 80% of the time, this is all I talk about, like coaching and consulting. Now, when we break that into pieces, we have the tools, we have the model, we have the outcomes that we use within the service. So that's where you just go full on and you educate people like middle of the funnel in terms of the service that you do. Now, inside the service, you can also have results. You can talk about client wins. You can talk about the processes and how you show people behind the scenes. So if I'm a ghostwriter, for example, I can talk about hooks and call to actions to show that this is the skill that I have, or how I use ghostwriting to get clients wins and get myself wins. You see what I'm doing? And I can like talk about the service from top funnel, mid funnel, and bottom funnel, but 80% of the time I'm drilling that word home. So for me, coaching and consulting is what I do. So I can tell a story about a client win. I can break down a process of how I made 5K by sending 7 emails, right? And I'm basically talking about coaching and consulting and all of that put together. I hope that makes sense. And then the one thing you want to be known for, in my world, it's offers. So again, I will educate, I will tell stories, and I will show proof to provide context about the thing that I want to be known for. I can also use the word offers inside my service, right? Because it is a big part of coaching and consulting when you have a converting offer. But now I've got my content strategy sort of nailed in without having to spend hours and hours thinking of things. I just start doing things. So when we look at this chart and we want to educate, we want to tell stories, and we want to show proof, you then go, okay, what am I doing? How am I doing it? I forgot to put in the 10% here. And you can break it down into the way that you want to do it. So, for example, on Mondays, I will always do a proof post, which is a case study and an invitation to work with me. And that is talking about the service that I provide, and it might include what I want to be known for. On Tuesdays, I want to do a mid-funnel post again, and I'm going to talk about my services, right? So little compartments of my model of the outcomes or the tools. I might have a post about how I helped somebody, or how I package a hybrid offer, which is something I want my audience to know. So that's my Tuesday sorted. Then on Wednesday, I can talk about offers again, mid-funnel, break it down, talk to them about that, make them understand. On Thursday, I can go back to coaching and consulting and talk about a different angle. So one thing that comes to mind without really overthinking is like how to have retention and recurring revenue, right? And I can talk about the model of weekly pricing versus monthly pricing or whatever it is. And then come Friday, I'm going to use that little 10% to talk about myself as a solopreneur. So for example, I took some time off and went to the mountains, and I was still making money while relaxing a little bit, because the systems and the automation in my solo business allows me to do that. So hopefully you've learned a little thing or two about how you can put yourself out there, define who you are, define the service and the thing you want to be known for, and look forward to seeing you in the next video. You can hit subscribe down below and check the description for some other goodies that I'll leave in, and subscribe to my newsletter on swipemymojo.com.